radio, glowing magic transistor radio, glowing magic transistor radio.
Hello YouTube and YouTubettes. Welcome to an album review. I have a very special formula I like to use to make grades, so you'll hear decimals and other weird things. I'm not going to give away my formula, but in this video I would like to review the B52s debut album, self-titled, released on July 6, 1979 on the label Warner Brothers. The producer was Chris Blackwell. This was the beginning of a new wave sound that became popular in the early 80s. And I discovered this music via a Best of New Wave CD, which included Rock Lobster by the B52s. And I loved it right away. Well, the band, it consists of Fred Schneider, Kate Pearson, Keith Strickland, Cindy Wilson, and Ricky Wilson, and they are from Athens, Georgia, which is weird because they sound very British, so I always assumed that they were. The art cover is by Tony White. It's a picture of the group with a yellow backdrop. It's very colorful and very stylish for that period, and I really do like it. And I give it a 9 out of 10 for the cover. Now on to the songs. The first song is Planet Claire, and this one is a very eerie song written by Henry Mancini, Fred Schneider, and Keith Strickland. The lead vocals are by Fred Schneider and Kate Pearson. I really do like this song. It's kind of, maybe you could call it space rock. It kind of sounds very science fiction, and it's about Planet Claire, so all that together, I consider it kind of more artistic. It is catchy enough as well. It's got nice lyrics, and one of my favorite songs on the album, and I give it a 9.0 out of 10. The next song is 52 Girls by Jeremy Ayers and Ricky Wilson, and the vocals are by Kate Pearson and Cindy Wilson. This is a very catchy song as well. The lyrics are not quite as accessible. They're hard for me to understand, but it is, it's got a decent hook on it and solid production. This one isn't one that sticks out to me, but when I do hear it, I do get into it. I don't hate it at all. It's very catchy. And I give this one an 8.4 out of 10. The next song is Dance This Mess Around written by the B52s. Lead vocals are by Fred Schneider and Cindy Wilson and Kate Pearson. This one is interesting. It kind of pulls you in a little bit. It's got this spoken kind of beginning. I think the lyrics are a little weaker on it, and it's not as artistic of a piece. It's not one of my favorite on the album. She does put a lot of soul into her vocals, though. That's good. Overall, I give it a 7.4 out of 10. Next song is Rock Lobster by Fred Schneider and Ricky Wilson. The vocals are by Fred Schneider, Kate Pearson, and Cindy Wilson. This is a very catchy song. This is the one that got me into the B52s. It's weird, it's quirky. The album version is longer. It has extra verses in it than the single version does, or the one that I heard on the Best of New Wave music that I had. And this is a great song, one of my favorite songs ever written. It's not a perfect song, but I give it a 9.6 out of 10. The song is Lava. This begins side 2, and this is written by the B52s. Lead vocals are by Kate Pearson, Fred Schneider, and Cindy Wilson. For some reason, I keep wanting to say Rob Schneider. I don't know why. But this one is a very simple song. It is somewhat catchy, but only like a 2-chord song, and it doesn't really go anywhere for me. It is one of my least favorite songs on the album, and yeah, so I give it a 6.8 out of 10. The next song is There's a Moon in the Sky Called the Moon, written by the B52s. Lead vocals are Fred Schneider, Kate Pearson, and Cindy Wilson. This one is another catchy song, but less on the artistic side. Once again, this is another one that doesn't do a whole lot for me, but it is a little better than the previous song. There's more to it than just 2 chords. And I give this one a 7.2 out of 10. The next song is Hero Worship by Robert Waldrop and Ricky Wilson. This one is kind of a rockin' song. It kind of has an alternative rock sound way back in 1979. It's still less on the artistic side, and it doesn't pull me in that much. I do give it some props for being a little ahead of its time. A lot of 90s alternative rock bands sounded kind of like this, or actually it has an 80s REM vibe to it as well, which makes sense because they were also from Athens, Georgia. This one gets a 7.2 out of 10.
6060842.
The song is 6060842, which is my phone number, not really, but this one is written by Kate Pearson, Fred Schneider, Keith Strickland, and Ricky Wilson. The lead vocals are by Kate Pearson, Fred Schneider, and Cindy Wilson. And this one is a very basic song once again, but it does have a strong hook, and that's what makes this song any, decent at all. Most of the song is kind of boring to me, but the hook or the chorus is what pulls people in. That's what makes it catchy. And I give this one an 8.2 out of 10. The last song is Downtown. It's a cover from 1964 by Petula Clark, written by Tony Hatch. This arrangement is by Cindy Wilson and Kate Pearson. Lead vocals are by Kate Pearson and Cindy Wilson. And this one, like I've said in other videos, I do not give over a 7 on anything that's covered. The only thing that gets over a 7 on this is the production, which I gave an 8. But I do like this cover. They make it their own. It's not exactly like the original, and but it does do lower since it is a cover, and I give it a 5.8 out of 10. The album flow is a strong 10. It's all this quirky keyboard type music so it's all very similar. So I give the flow a 10 out of 10. This is good music in my opinion, poppy and something different than what had been going on in the 60s and 70s, although there was things like disco and funk and the keyboard kind of stuff was coming in, and this was taking it, I think, mixing that with punk a little bit to make this unique sound, which became new wave in the early 80s. And you might even call them space rock. I really do like this album a lot. So now I will pull out my handy dandy computer and calculate my formula. And this album gets an 8.05 out of 10. Thank you and have a wonderful day.